Well, good morning. My name is Ron Corbett. I'm the mayor of Cedar Rapids, and it's great to see so many people here. Normally when I have my press conferences, there's just one or two people, city staff. So I guess I learned a lesson. If I include Iowa State, it packs the room. I'm joined here today by a couple of council colleagues, Councilwoman Ann Poe, Councilman Ralph Russell, Councilwoman Susie Wynock, and Councilman Olson are here. In addition to them, we have Councilman Justin Shields, and he'll be part of the speakers this morning. We'll have myself along with President Leith and Justin Shields, Dwight Hughes from Hughes Nursery, and then we'll follow up with our closing comments by our city manager, Jeff Pomerantz, and then we'll take some questions afterwards. At the start of each city council meeting, I like to start off with good news in the community. And today we have some great news in our community. This is a wonderful opportunity for Cedar Rapids. What we're announcing today is the creation of a new Iowa State and Extension liaison position. This will be a shared position by the city of Cedar Rapids and Iowa State University. The task of this liaison will be to explore opportunities for expanding the success of our city's agricultural and bioprocessing industries. These industries are really the backbone of Cedar Rapids. We knew that agriculture and agribusiness would lead through innovation, research, and new product development. Several years ago, there was an economic trend around the country for communities to embrace the new economy. Cedar Rapids didn't abandon our agricultural sector. We stuck with it, and it's a good thing we did, because after the 2008 flood and the 2008 financial recession, the ag economy is really what helped Cedar Rapids sustain a viable economy by having a strong workforce and a great tax base. So today with this announcement, we'll be moving forward with a focus on creating jobs and more opportunity. And Justin's going to talk a little bit about this, but back in 2008, David Swenson did a report on the biotechnology community in Cedar Rapids. And at the time that report was presented to us, we were in the midst of trying to recover from the largest natural disaster that Iowa had ever experienced. Well, now that flood recovery is in our rearview mirror, we're able to look forward and embrace studies like David Swenson had for growth in the ag industry here in the Cedar Rapids economy. So it's my pleasure today to introduce the president of Iowa State and have him come forward. He's going to be here tonight also for the celebration of agriculture that Dwight Hughes has been a long-time leader of, and actually we've had over 25 years. I think this is the 26th or 27th year. But please welcome President Stephen Leith from Iowa State University.
Good morning. I am really thrilled to be here this morning. This is an exciting announcement. I'm a partnership guy, so when I get to go in front of a group and talk about an Iowa State partnership, I'm especially happy. And the one we have here today with Cedar Rapids is really important to us. We want to serve the entire state, and this is an opportunity to do just that. I think most of you would agree that Iowa State is a leader in agriculture and the biosciences. Cedar Rapids is clearly a leader in the agricultural and bioprocessing industries. So if we can join our strengths together to make both entities even better, we are just thrilled to do it. I want to start by thanking a number of people, because most successful partnerships by definition involve multiple people. And I get the fun opportunity to be up here and talk about this partnership, but there are many other people that did the heavy lifting, and I have to start with the mayor here, Ron. Thank you for what you and the city have done to make this a reality. I also want to thank City Manager Jeff Pomerantz and City Councilman Justin Shields, who will be up here shortly. And, of course, Dwight Hughes, one of our great alums. So thanks for being here, Dwight, and all you do for us. I also want to thank Wendy Winterstein, who's the endowed dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Iowa State. Joe Coletti, who's sitting here in the front, our senior associate dean in the college. Many of you know Robert Brown and his great reputation at Iowa State, who is director of our Bioeconomy Institute. He had a role in this partnership, as well as Larry Johnson, the director of the Center for Crop Utilization Research and our BioCentury Research Farm. Ruth McDonald is here today, our chair of the Department of Food Science, Human Nutrition, as well as Vice President for Economic Development and Business Engagement, Mike Crum, who's sitting right here, and then, of course, Vice President for Extension Outreach, Kath Ann Kress. And if you listen to that list of people, talented people that had a role in this partnership, I have no doubt that it's going to succeed. So I want to thank everyone that had a leadership role. I am really excited, though, to have a research and extension liaison person located right here in Cedar Rapids to work closely with the ag bioprocessing industries and at the same time identify opportunities for collaboration with Iowa State scientists, engineers, extension people, as well as our economic development specialists, and together they can address the challenges and needs of those industries. I feel really confident that we can take an existing industry that's strong in Iowa and move it to the next level with a partnership like this, and that is something that we value highly. I think our expertise in agriculture, the biosciences, and engineering, and Cedar Rapids' powerhouse capabilities in processing are going to enhance economic opportunities, not just for here, but throughout the whole state of Iowa. So we're looking forward to collaborating on a number of things, research and development on, I'll list them here, environmentally friendly processing techniques, adding value to waste processing streams, innovative new bio-based products, as well as exploring opportunities to enhance the skills and capabilities of employees to make them happy in their jobs, give them opportunities in their careers, and ultimately adding more jobs and revenue to this whole industry. The ag biosciences continue to be a core strength of Iowa State University. We're making huge investments in ag biosciences in all our fundamental areas of the land-grant university, education, research, and extension. We want to continue our role as a leader in this industry, and this partnership is going to help enable us to do this, because as much as we make investments, we can't do it alone, and we're always better than the sum of the parts. So this partnership will allow us to achieve our mission to create, share, and apply knowledge to make Iowa a better place and improve the Iowa economy. I think you'll find that we're always looking for opportunities to carry out our mission. We're always looking for opportunities for partnerships so we can carry it out more effectively. And I really think this partnership with Cedar Rapids is going to be a great example. I got a feeling there's going to be a bunch of other communities lined up behind Cedar Rapids saying, how can we make something like that happen? So I want to thank everyone who was involved in bringing this idea to fruition. My senior staff knows I love the word implement, and it's fun when you see a really good idea, but then a team comes together to implement it and make it a reality. So I'm going to step aside, and before I do, I'm going to take the pleasure of introducing Cedar Rapids Councilmember Justin Shields to talk about the series of discussions that actually led to this happening. So, Mr. Shields.
Good morning, everyone, and to say this is a real pleasure would be putting it mildly. I come out of organized labor originally. I was union president at Quaker Oats for a long time and worked with the Hawkeye Labor Council. And so I worked with a lot of different industries in Cedar Rapids, and most of them food industries. And you wonder from time to time, why aren't we doing more to expand these interests in industries, do more research, more development? Each company kind of did their own thing, and they still have a little bit of that philosophy left, but hopefully Iowa State will teach them a better way of doing things. And I'm more than confident that will happen. Well, they gave me a list of talking points I was supposed to read, but I never did follow the script too well, so I'm just going to kind of go off the cuff for a few minutes. And I had started this shortly after I got elected to the city council. I thought, boy, my roles have really changed now. And I owe a lot to this community. Community helped raise my family, went the kids through school here and stuff, and I run for office. I wanted to do my share of what I could do with my limited talents. So one of the first things I started looking around was for what I had talked about earlier, why don't we do more with the industries and agriculture that we have here? So that led me to a guy named Tom Reed. He was a former CEO of Pennington Ford, and which later was Penford. And Tom introduced me to another close friend of his by the name of Marty Andreas. And Marty is from the ADM family of industries. So two pretty giant people in Cedar Rapids' history of industry. They were both retired and still wanted to give back. So the three of us started this discussion, and God, I didn't think we'd ever get beyond the discussion stage. And anyway, we met, it seemed like weekly, and the group started to grow. They talked to me about this tree farmer, which I'll talk about a little later, but I thought, what do we want with a tree farmer? But that was probably one of the smartest things they told me about. But then as time passed and we were working in various areas, working with various groups, trying to move this thought process forward, back in January 7th of 2013, I see this poster put up for the Rotary Club. Their guest speaker that day was a lady by the name of Wendy Winterstein, and she's a Dean of Agriculture. President Leaf had mentioned her earlier, Dean of Agriculture at the Iowa State University. I thought, I'm going to go to that Rotary and I'm going to somehow get introduced to Dean Winterstein. And luck would have it, I'm a pretty bashful guy, but I did find a way to get introduced to her. And I thought, my God, what a talented lady. Her speech that day just I didn't think I could get inspired that much anymore at my age. And my God, she just renewed a whole bunch of feelings that I've had for years. And so I had asked her to come back and do some things. We had set up 3 or 4 different conferences with businesses here in Cedar Rapids, and she started to bring more and more of her staff here, and most of them you see today. And what a wonderful bunch of people, so dedicated to what they do. So I was really not, I was disappointed that Dean Winterstein could not make it today, but she's off doing work that she loves to do, and she'll be back, and she'll be a huge part of this whole program. I'm more than convinced. And I think that tree farmer, he's got a hook, and he's starting to reach for me, I think. So I just want to again say there's just no way I could be more pleased that we have this partnership with Iowa State. I got to tell you this one thing. When Dean Winterstein came here for the first conference we did with quite a few of the industry leaders and things, she says, Justin, before we get started today, what do you really expect Iowa State can do for you? What do you want from us? I said, well, Dean, it's not much. It's something I'm sure you can handle. You don't have to go too far to get approval, but I want, when people come into Cedar Rapids, I want them to see this big sign on the highways that says the home of Iowa State University at Cedar Rapids. And she says, holy cripes, you don't expect much, do you? I said, well, I didn't expect it in the first 2 years, but less than 5. But so, again, it's great to have everyone here from Iowa State, and great to have this partnership with them. Now I'm going to introduce this tree farmer who's been invaluable to what we've been trying to do, and Iowa State knows him extremely well because he works hard for them too. Dwight Hughes of the Dwight Hughes Nursery, become a great friend of mine since we started this. So Dwight.
This is a very happy Wednesday, as you might well imagine. Welcome to the world capital of grain processing. Nowhere in the world does anything like this happen. We process over 1 million bushels of corn every single day. We have 1,000 grain trucks coming into town every single day. The Krandic moves more than 100,000 rail cars every year. And the synergistic possibilities of working with Iowa State University to expand all of this is really wonderful. You know, if you leave the city limits just a half a mile or a mile in any direction, and you start traveling through this great state called Iowa, you'll find that we are definitely the breadbasket of the world, and people look to us for leadership and technology innovation, and a lot of that has come from Iowa State University in the past. When you think about Iowa being #1 in corn, #1 in soybeans, #1 in pork, #1 in eggs, the list goes on, it's pretty incredible what we have, and what we can do in the future is even brighter. Back in the mid-1800s, there was a really sharp United States Senator from the state of Vermont by the name of Justin Morrill. He was a leader in economic development because he took to the United States Congress the concept of a land-grant university, where the states would provide land and the federal government would provide money and resources to create a synergistic effect to build land-grant schools to advance agriculture and technology in our country. And if you think back of the history, back in the mid-1800s, we were an agrarian society. This was very far-reaching, very futuristic, very visionary. And he got President Abraham Lincoln, a household name, to sign the bill. And wouldn't you guess that the state of Iowa and our wonderful population saw the need and created the very first land-grant school. So when you think of this from a historic standpoint, it's quite remarkable where we've come, where we are today, and where we are in this particular room thinking about economic development, practice with science, and all of the other things that go with what we're trying to accomplish today. 30 years ago, I had the pleasure of being called by the Chamber of Commerce to go on their board of directors. Now that's called the Economic Alliance. We've made progress there as well. Back in those days, I didn't have very much free time to get into a tie and coat, so I said, I'll come on the chamber board if you think about 2 things that you'll allow me to do. Number 1, I need to be able to come in my work clothes. Barbara remembered that. Number 2, I said, we need to start saying the word agriculture, and we need to do something about it. So Larry Waller, the executive at that point in time, met me at the Spring House for lunch, and on a napkin we sketched out what we now call the celebration of agriculture. Tonight, 29 years. another sellout crowd. Just a remarkable turnaround. And since that period of time, we've had numerous meetings, seminars, conferences, events to try to stimulate the leadership of our community, the political leaders of our community, to bring some attention and some focus to agriculture and what it does. And it's really exciting to think about what today is doing and what we're doing this morning in this partnership. Over the years, our speakers in the last 29 years have included 6 former Secretaries of Agriculture from the United States Department of Agriculture. And a short story about Mike Johans when he came to town. He's now a United States Senator from the great state of Nebraska. Before that, he was the governor of Nebraska. Before that, he was an Iowa dairy farmer in northeast Iowa. We brought him to town, took him on a tour, and it was remarkable what his remarks were to us. And what he saw was the recipe that Cedar Rapids has in grain processing is something that every major city in the Corn Belt would die for. So we need to take that concept and what we're doing today and recognize the significance of it. In my view, this is a pretty remarkable situation in this room because we have not just a public-private partnership, we have a public-private partnership where we bring the oldest and arguably the best land-grant university in the country with the world capital of grain processing, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and the 26 firms that do all of this work every single day that supply over 40,000 direct jobs and countless service jobs to that. So thank you to everyone here. Thank you, Justin, for unlocking what we really needed to get the city council and the community leaders from our county government as well involved with the private sector, and then bringing in President Leith and all your people. Thank you isn't enough, but that's what we mean deeply. So the list gets better. It's the first time I've ever been ahead of Jeff Pomerantz in anything. But we're so fortunate to bring him and provide leadership to our city, and it's very obvious what he's been able to do during his administration. And this is another element of success, and I thank Jeff personally as well as all the council people that supported him. Jeff?
Now I lost my, you're going to get lucky, Mayor, because I've lost my comments. No, I haven't. Well, it's obvious when you hear our speakers this morning just how important that this partnership is to our city of Cedar Rapids. And many went off script from the city because we believe in this so much, and it's much more than words. As city leaders, it's our job to explore new and innovative ways and strategies to enhance the economic development of our community. And this position shows our commitment to supporting existing local industries as well as exploring new opportunities for growth. The position specifically will assist with workforce development, adding value to processing waste streams through co-products and byproducts. And these are just a few of the ways that we'll be collaborating with Iowa State and our local industries. Again, bringing research and development by tying into the expansive knowledge base of the Iowa State University. As you've heard this morning, Cedar Rapids has its roots in the agricultural economy, and ISU leads the way in agricultural and bio-based research. Collaboration between our public sector again with Iowa State, as Dwight said, as well as the private sector makes sense. And I believe, and I know the City Council, Mayor believe, will create many exciting opportunities for our local businesses for years to come. From the city staff side, I'd like to thank Jasmine Amoyad, our Economic Development Liaison, for her tireless work on this effort. I'd very much like to thank and show appreciation for the leadership of Mayor Corbett, Councilmember Shields, and of course, our entire City Council. All of the City Council members and Mayor have been behind this effort from the very beginning. We mentioned Councilmember Shields, and I've only been in Cedar Rapids about 4.5 years, but it was a period of time when anytime I walked down the hallway and came across Councilmember Shields, he'd say, "What about this relationship with Iowa State? When are we going to get moving on it? Justin, we've already had 2 meetings. We're working on it. We're working on it. When are we going to get something done?" As the president said, he's all into implementation, and that's what we're into as well at the City of Cedar Rapids. So it's going to make a great collaboration. The vision of our City Council has guided us to explore new ideas like this one in order to support, again, our local businesses and to encourage the future of our economic development. Again, Dwight Hughes, thank you for your friendship and for your leadership. I mean, Dwight's encouragement, his kindness, his enthusiasm, his support is something that has helped drive this entire process and is deeply appreciated. Wendy was mentioned, but Dean Winterstein has, from the very beginning, supported this concept and this new relationship between the City of Cedar Rapids and Iowa State. So we deeply appreciate her encouragement, her support, and it was an exciting day a few months ago when we received the email from Wendy making this proposal as to how the city and Iowa State could work together in the future. So thank you again. Additionally, I would personally like to thank President Leaf and many others, and there's so many here today at Iowa State for their willingness to work with the city of Cedar Rapids to make this partnership a reality. Also, would like to greet the many Iowa State graduates that are here today. This tie I'm wearing, this is the closest I could get to an Iowa State tie. It's kind of a fake. The president has a real one on, but my wife said that looks like an Iowa State tie, so I've got it here. Anyway, we all look forward to the growth of the City of Cedar Rapids, as well as our entire ag economy in our state and the state's overall economy. We look forward to this partnership for Cedar Rapids and the entire region. I know that the president's on a tight schedule, but all of us that have been speakers will remain for a few moments to answer any questions that the public or media has. With that, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate everybody's support of Iowa State and the city and look forward to working with all of you in the future on Cedar Rapids' growth and development. Thank you. So again, we're free to answer any questions that any of you have. Yes, yeah. It's a 75, yeah. There was a question regarding the mechanics of the relationship, and it's a 75%, 25% relationship, meaning Iowa State will fund 75% of the costs of a faculty member, a specialist, to work on these agricultural issues, and the city of CR will be 25%.